patiently and still ain't feeling vacancy. It's like I gotta wait until I'm dead for them to pray for me. Don't know if they gon' come around, but I don't wanna wait and see. Yeah, bet against all the odds, now I still fall apart. That's when I wanted God and told him that I'm torn apart. He said, son, keep me cool, and don't you worry about the others, just keep me cool. Everything you do, you won't see it through. And very soon you'll see it too. When it gets easy for you. While now we're breathing heavily, running from these memories. It's hard to see the enemy. Focusing our enemy. Oh, but I love and sacrifice my integrity. Sign my life away in the dream, so separately. I'm afraid of failing, it's eating at me violently. Moving silently, I'm fighting with anxiety. I'm running at the time. You running and running, but don't know what you're running from. Pointed a loading gun, thinking it's all in fun. So step back and pull it. Time to test out your bullets. The battle you might have won, but this one has just begun.
All right, thank you. I love it. Goes hard for real.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I was, getting into the vibe, Okay, so with that said, who is Paul Rello?
So I'm an artist and amateur boxer, soon to be pro, coming out of Long Island, New York. It's been a long time coming. I've really taken these past couple of years to develop my craft as far as music, and as far as boxing, I took a little bit of time off, but for these past few years, I've been really grinding, and I'm at a place now where I'm ready to compete at the same time as release music. As far as who I am as a person, I would say that for me, I got into, growing up, I made a lot of bad decisions as a kid, and young adult. And I'm somebody who's learned a lot of different lessons from a lot of different mistakes I've had. The boxing gym is, kind of a reference point and a guidance, almost like a compass in life. Anytime that I've wanted to do good, and I've definitely found who I am through the boxing gym. It's always helped me become the better, stronger, more disciplined, consistent version of myself. And now music is just something that I've always, been in love with. I've always loved the process of writing. I've always loved songwriting and the feeling you get when you're done, the art behind making music and valuable music as well. Not just, anybody can put together a record, but to talk about something that that people could relate to, whether it be struggle or victory, that's something that, for me, I take pride in being able to do that. And now I'm just at a place in my life where, I'm ready to go full force with music.
Okay. So, when did you realize that you had a gift for music and boxing?
So for music, I realized I had a gift when I would say in elementary school, at least for writing, for composition. I kind of stuck to it. I did really well in English class and, just writing in general. And throughout my adolescence years, I started, transitioning into hip hop. And, by the time I was 13, 14, 15, I was just writing music left and right. And, something that I, did really well at. As far as boxing, I started boxing when I was 15 years old. And, again, it was always there for me when I wanted to do good, but I was kind of torn between, hanging out with my friends and drinking and partying and doing stuff like that. And it was just something where I would always go back and forth with the both of them. And it wasn't until my early 20s where I started taking boxing seriously. I fought in the Golden Gloves 3 times. Any fight that I've had in the Golden Gloves, win or lose, I always made the newspaper for either bout of the night or things like that. So, coming into my 20s is where I really started developing myself as an artist and as a boxer. So, but I always knew that I had, what it took. It was just a matter of completely submitting myself to the sport or submitting myself to music, and being that disciplined version of myself that could stay consistent. And for these past few years, that's the place that I'm at now.
Okay. So what would you say overall, since the start of your music career, your boxing career, what has been your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge has been myself. It's been, the weaker version of who I am. The
Mm-hmm.
person who doesn't want to get up and go train, the person that would rather, eat and go out and drink, or the version of myself that, doesn't want to apply myself to sit down and spend hours writing music. It's that tussle between who I want to be and some, of who I've been. And I've been pretty much my biggest issue that I faced, or my biggest challenge. And I think most people in life deal with this. It's just something that we all go through, whether it be depression or procrastination. Like, these are all things that make us human. Like, the word depression gets thrown around, and it's like people have this view, but we all experience depression. It's a normal thing to experience. We all experience, you know, procrastination of these certain things, and it's just a matter of taking the time to be diligent and putting your energy into the things that you're not happy with, the things that are making you depressed. And for me, it was that I wasn't where I was in life. I wasn't fully committed to boxing. I wasn't fully committed to music. And that was something that, just weighed me down. And I took the time to be really diligent over the past, I would say 2 years. I've lost 30, 40 pounds. I'm in great shape. I have a whole catalog ready to go. We're getting ready to drop a project in 23. I have 2 music videos. I'm actually dropping a song this Friday.
Okay.
So I would definitely say that I would be my biggest challenge to answer that question.
Okay. So tell us about your new song that you recently dropped, War. Can you tell us about the song I just played? And what was the background story behind that?
So War was a song that one of my now good friends and producer, KP and DG Main, they sent me a catalog back in 2018, 2019, and that was the first beat that I heard. And I kind of just was drawn to it. I love the piano. I love just the sound of it, that hip hop sound, the large,
Hmm.
the drums, everything behind it. And for me, it was, I decided at 25 to stop working and go back to school for audio engineering. And in that process, I had to do a internship
Hmm.
for school. So I started reaching out to my friends in Long Island. The hip hop scene out here is pretty big. There's a lot of studios, a lot of people making music. I had a lot of friends that was tied into it. So I reached out to one of my friends and landed an internship with the Giants Music Group. And while I was over there, I met KP. And he was just somebody who had a lot of experience in the industry. He's produced a lot of records. And, I ran into him a couple months later at the gym, and just kept asking him every time I saw him. I was like, yo, let me get some beats, let me get some, send me some records. Finally he sent it, and War came about.
Hmm.
So I went back and wrote the 2 verses, and I wrote the chorus for that record. The bridge at the very end.
Hmm.
And I sent it back over to him. He was like, listen, man, I love it. He's like, I actually have a chorus that I wrote for this, and I think that if we found a female vocalist, it would sound really good.
Hmm.
So, he sent his version over. Instantly, I fell in love with it. We started reaching out to different female vocalists, and we came across Alyssa Poulette's. And the second we heard her voice, it just kind of fit perfectly. She had like that vintage, 60s sounding. She hit the ranges differently, and we're like, all right, we're gonna do this. So we did some pre-production. We made sure that we were prepared going into the studio, and we went in and laid it down, and that's how War came about.
Okay. So if given the opportunity to a concert artist lineup of choice, who would you choose to come out on stage to perform with?
That's a question right there.
He's like,
you know
whoa, whoa, oh, that's
that
a whole
that is
lineup.
that That's a question because there's so many different answers. You know, from like a place in my heart, like I grew up listening to '90s rappers. You know, so to come out with some of the old school rappers, whether it be Eminem or Nas, Jay-Z, that would just be legendary. At the same time, you know, other artists, newer artists like Kendrick or J. Cole, like this would be a really, really hard decision.
But it's your lineup. So this is who you coming out with. It's your lineup.
This is hard, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna say either Drake or Cole.
Okay.
I don't think I could really pick. Honestly, if I had to pick, I'd probably say Drake.
Okay.
I think that would be the. I think that would be the best move at this point in my career. But that's why I say coming from the heart, like probably Jay-Z. I don't know. Like I said, that's such a hard.
Torn in between all of them. That's a question right there.
That is a question.
Okay, so I have somewhat the same question, but aim more towards your boxing career. Who would you choose to go glove to glove with in the boxing ring as your own lineup, if you had to choose or had the choice to do so?
If I could get like a celebrity fight right now, fight any professional boxer, I mean, that's easy right there. It would be Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, I thought you would say something like that.
Yo, Floyd, if you listening to this podcast, bro, I need that celebrity matchup. That is a fight that I definitely need that.
I don't know if he gonna see this, but if he does, just be ready. I ain't telling you. I'm just saying, you said it, not me.
I would jump in the ring with him today.
Okay. Confidence, that's what I love. Confidence. Okay, so can you tell us about the new music project that you have coming out this Friday?
So this Friday we have the audio coming out for Ain't That the Truth. Okay. So that's a record that my engineer, big shout out to Mike Perkillo. He's a very talented overall musician. He's one of the best mixing, mastering engineers that I've ever come across. He has a lot of experience, but he also makes beats, and he plays like 5 or 6 different instruments. So sometimes we go into the studio and we just, we make records just for me to write to. And I went in one day, I was like, yo, let's just make a beat. And he came up with this instrumental, and it had, he started messing around with these horns, and then we brought in the cello, and we had an organ, and it's just a really laid back, like dope record, and in the writing process, I decided, for the content, it would just be something. A lot of my music that I have is about struggle and tough times and things like that. So I kind of wanted to have a little bit of a different contrast here. It's something that wasn't as heavy, but still had that kind of like I'm in grind mode kind of feel. So, I wrote the record, and it's just pretty much that. It's a lot about the process, steps that it took to get where I am as a person, as an individual, as an artist, and, just finding conviction in who you are in that process. So it's a song that, I think it's one of my best. We're going to release the audio this Friday. And in 2 weeks, we're going to release the music video that I just shot with Tana from Street Heat, one of the, dopest video production guys out here in New York right now. He shoots for some of the biggest names, and, he's just been in the streets. He's been literally such a big part of the hip hop scene in New York for the past 20 years. So big shout out to Tana and Will T with Street Heat. We shot a really, really dope video. So definitely can't wait to release that in a few weeks as well.
Okay. So when you come out with your entrance music to go into the ring, do you play your own music?
So I'm going to play my own music for sure. I might even tell them to give me the microphone and perform. I haven't competed in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been a while now. You know, I was looking to compete this month, but unfortunately, I had a surgery a few weeks back that I had to do, so I'm kind of on standby.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy, but you know, right now I'm getting back into just the swing of things, and I'll be fighting in the Golden Gloves in January of 23. So when that does happen, if there's an opportunity for me to perform my music, for sure, I would love to do that.
So can you tell us about your journey to earning your Golden Gloves in boxing and any signature victories of the past?
Yeah. So again, you know, I started when I was 15. You know, one of my friends was like, "Yo, come down to Westbury, PAL." It was a gym that was donated by a family, and it was put there for kids that were, you know, in the streets with no direction, making bad decisions. You know, pretty much at-risk youth.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I started when I was 15, but I couldn't fully commit until I was 22. And that year, I had 5 USA certified bouts, fought in the Golden Gloves. That was 2014. And the first fight that I had, I got out of the night. Really cool. You know, I woke up and went to 7-Eleven and I opened up the Daily News and I saw my name in the paper. It was, you know, something that was, you know, just felt really good to see that. And, you know, after that, I fought in the Golden Gloves 2 more times. You know, every time that I fought in the gloves, I woke up and my name was in the paper, win or lose. You know, 2017 was probably the best one. You know, I had a fight. It was probably the hardest fight that I ever had. And, you know, I fought my heart out, and everybody in the room definitely saw it. You know, it was to the point where I was just exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, after the fight, somebody came up to me. They're like, "Yo, you should check the paper tomorrow. You know, chances are you're going to get bout of the night." And I woke up and went to 7-Eleven, and not only was my name in it, but they had a full picture of me throwing an overhand right, and the title said "Rello, All Blood and Guts." So that
Okay.
was something, yeah. And I mean, the kid was leaking from his face, and it was just a solid shot. I mean, if you look up Paul Rello Daily News, you could find the article and the picture. But that was a really good feeling waking up and seeing that.
Okay. So do you do any kind of youth community services for, you know, at-risk kids right now, such as like mentorship programs or anything?
So I want to say programs. You know, being in the gym, there's all different types of kids that come. You know, from all different backgrounds. You have college students. You got kids that are coming off the street. So whenever I'm there, I try to help out as much as I can. Um, you know, there's a lot of times where I'll either work the pads or work the floors with some of these kids, give them some pointers and whatnot. It's not really like a structured program,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but we do have coaches there that dedicate their time to, you know, training fighters and training kids that are coming off the streets. You know, we got guys like Joe Gadigian, Kevin Collins, who's running it, Matt Happany, Al Heyman. There's a lot of guys in the gym that are just working with pretty much anybody who's looking to come in and learn how to box. And anything that I can do to help, you know, I try to do that with my schedule.
Okay, okay. So do you have any words of advice for those seeking to get into the music industry or boxing?
Stay consistent. You know, that's the biggest thing. But more importantly, would be, you know, find discipline in what you're doing. You know, it's easy to get distracted, but when you eliminate all distractions and really, you know, apply yourself and zone in on what you're trying to do, you know, anything's possible. And, you know, as far as boxing, you know, that's the biggest thing. It's just being disciplined, being consistent, just stick with it. You know, that's been my biggest problem over the years is the inconsistency of picking it up and putting it down, picking it up and putting it down. So, you know, that would be my biggest advice to anybody who's trying to get in either music or boxing or anything in life that you're trying to do, whether you're going to school or whether you got a new job. It's just be consistent and, you know, put your head down and just get to work and stay busy.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for interviewing here with me at Kentucky Good Vibe. Pleasure. And I know you got to get back to work, so I don't want to hold you from making the money. And Hopefully
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather may see this. Who knows? Hope you're
Let's
ready.
go.
Hope you're ready.
I'm ready for it.
I want to be there. Invite
Thank you.
me. I want to see this. I want to see.
I'm telling you, you're gonna get this. You'll be the first person I hit up. I'll call you. I'm like, you won't believe it.
I'm like, I'm there, front seat, front center.
That's it. That's it.
Okay. Well, I will follow up with you soon, and I look forward to checking out your new single this Friday. It'll be on all music platforms, correct?
All digital platforms.
Okay, okay. And where can fans find your music or people find your music?
So my name is Paul Rello, Paulrello, and that's my handle across all boards, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify. You just type in Paul Rello and you'll find it.
Okay. Okay. Well, once again, thank you. And I look forward to following up with you in the near future. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for having me on your show.
Okay, you're welcome.